The Berlin Wall is one of the most iconic images of communism and the Cold War. The wall was built as a way to separate West Germany from East Germany and stop people from East Germany from defecting to West Germany. East and West Germany were considered different countries, even having their own flags. Despite the fact that Berlin was deep in the Soviet zone of control in Germany, it was split into four zones, just like the rest of Germany. This caused a lot of tension between the Soviets and the United States because the Soviet Union believed they should have Berlin as it was clearly in their zone of control. Prior to the wall, citizens from East and West Germany could go as they pleased, but during the 1950s, West Germany became much wealthier than East Germany, leading to a massive influx of people from East Germany going to West Germany and staying there. Unsurprisingly, this came as quite the embarrassment for the Soviet Union, who in response set up stricter border penalties. Later, the Soviet Union declared its desire of a nuclear-free Germany to act as a buffer against the West. The Soviet Union also said that it was willing to sign a treaty with East Germany that would help cement a two-part Germany and secure the division between the East and the West. The talks for the separation all failed, and thus, on August 12, 1961, troops from East Berlin began the building of the wall that would become the image of the separation between East and West, as well as the Cold War. The wall itself was 66 miles long and consisted of guard towers, barbed wire, trenches, and minefields. In addition, 10,000 guards were stationed there and all had orders to shoot any who tried to defect to West Berlin. Despite all of the dangers, many were desperate enough to attempt the journey to West Germany, and there have been quite a few daring escapes. One of the most famous was a soldier who 3 days into the wall's construction jumped over the barbed wire and fled to West Germany. This soldier now has statues in his name, and a picture taken of him is one of the most famous of the time. Another famous story was that of Hans Strelzik and Gunter Wetzel. Hans and Gunter used the knowledge they had about hot air balloons to fashion one out of bed sheets, propane cylinders, and canvas. They then floated up 8,000 feet and floated to freedom. Many things led to the fall of the Berlin Wall. One of the most influential reasons was definitely the policies of Mikhail Gorbachev. Gorbachev introduced many policies of openness in the Soviet Union. He implemented elections between communists and non-communists and called for the end of the special privilege given to the Communist Party in Russia, a great shift as previously the Bolsheviks had been trying to attain total control over political power in the Soviet Union. In addition, in order to be able to spend more on rejuvenating the economy, Gorbachev attempted to lessen defense spending. As it was impossible to lessen defense spending when the Soviet Union was involved in the Cold War with the U.S., Gorbachev attempted to limit the conflict between the two nations and alleviate tension between the two nations. In addition, his policy of glasnost, or openness, led to the reopening of subjects like corruption, criticizing the government, and many other things. One of Gorbachev's policies, known as New Thinking, led to the political overthrows of many communist governments who were soon replaced by pro-West leaders. It was around this time when the Berlin Wall fell. In 1989, Hungary, which had been previously a communist state in the Soviet Union, voted to allow independent political parties. Then, in August of 1989, Hungary opened its borders, allowing thousands of people from East Germany to flee to the west through Hungary. Then, following the example of Hungary, on November 9, 1989, the East German government decided to relax the travel restrictions of the Berlin Wall. Unfortunately for the East German government, an announcement made in a local paper implied that the border between East and West was to be permanently abandoned, and as a result, thousands of people gathered at the Berlin Wall, demanding passage through. The guards, overwhelmed and outnumbered, let the people through. As they went through, the people were met by the people of West Germany. Elated, the groups sung and danced. People began to tear down the wall, soon joined by the East German military. The wall continued to be torn down until June of 1990, when it was permanently destroyed. The tearing down of the Berlin Wall is the most memorable event in East Germany's peaceful revolution, which was one of the most influential factors in the destruction of the Soviet Union. On March 18, 1990, in free elections, the East Germans voted the Communists out of power and are now a democratic nation in the European Union.